many moons ago, before I even had a Blip TV page, back when I was posting just on YouTube, I did a series of videos on pretty much all of the classic Sonic games, up to the Dreamcast, actually, and beyond. And they sucked. Not gonna lie, this sucked pretty bad. So much so that when it came time to save stuff off of my Blip page, well, I didn't actually bother with salvaging them. I do have them backed up on a hard drive somewhere, and maybe they'll find their way into the legacy section of my website sooner or later. But for now, I think it's high time to give the spiky blue hedgehog another go. Give it the attention that he really deserves. So, without further ado, let's start looking back at all the classic Sonic games. And what better place to start than Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on Master System. Yes, this thing really exists. But let me tell you exactly the peculiarities of this one. Yes, you heard right. Sonic on the Master System. Sega had the thing about demaking many of its most popular Genesis titles onto its underappreciated 8-bit hardware. Most of them were quite terrible, for the record. Sonic on the MS also holds the distinction of being the very last commercially released Master System game in the States, and the most expensive by far. The cartridge and case are identical to the much more common European version except for the UPC sticker on the back of the box. That stupid little sticker raises the price from about $30 to $300, so it's a seriously expensive UPC code. For the record, this is the overseas version because I'm not pants-shittingly insane enough to drop enough money to buy a Wii U on a 2-cent sticker. Sorry. That out of the way, let's take a look at the actual game. Off the bat, we're greeted to a nice vibrant recreation of the Green Hill Zone with a PSG version of that iconic theme. It's a little robotic sounding, but it fits the part well enough. The graphics aren't gonna blow your mind, but they certainly aren't bad for the hardware. Once you start moving though, you'll find the controls to be highly lacking. And that's completely the fault of the Master System controller itself. You see, the D-pad's design makes it very easy to accidentally hit a diagonal while moving, specifically the down left or down right direction, which will force Sonic to roll on the ground, leading to the accidental loss of momentum, cheap hits, and often death. The controller alone at least doubles the difficulty of the game. Fortunately, there's an easy fix. Just grab any Genesis controller, plug it in, and you're good to go. Once all that is solved and you start exploring the level, you'll find the layout is completely different than its 16-bit counterpart. And that's not the only surprise in store for you either. Like in the 16-bit version, you can enter a special stage when you finish the stage with 50 or more rings. However, this time there's no Chaos Emerald to be found in the springy depths. Rather, continue as your greatest prize. You also have a time limit to grab as many bonus rings, lives, and that coveted continue as you can and past the signpost at the end. If you don't make it in time, you get Jack. And the bounciness of the stages makes it difficult to navigate. Thus, they can be pretty challenging. Back to the emeralds, they are present in the game, but are now hidden in the regular stages. This makes for a lot more exploration if you want to get the best ending, and some of the locations can be quite tricky to get to, so there's some trial and error involved. The last major difference is the third act of every zone. Here you'll have to navigate a very short stage before reaching the boss robot. The catch is, there are no rings in these stages, so you have to be perfect. As if all that wasn't enough, there's more surprises once you actually beat the Green Hill Zone. The second zone, the Bridge Zone, is completely new to this version. It even features a tricky auto-scrolling section in Act 2. It also features a pretty catchy new tune that suits the PSG chip of the Master System much better. After that, it's off to the all-new Jungle Zone, including a pain-in-the-ass waterfall climb where you scroll the screen upwards and die if you fall. Next is the Labyrinth Zone, which is pretty close to the Genesis original. Then it's time for the Scrap Brain Zone, which features some new obstacles to contend with. Finally, you have to battle your way through the Sky Base, which has a crazy cheap second act, if you don't use the hidden shortcut at the beginning of the stage. Seriously, I saved you like 20 lives right there. Finally, you'll have it out with Eggman and win the day. Aside from the different zones, you'll find a more Mario-esque level design as opposed to all the loops and ramps you'd expect from a Sonic game. It's not a bad platformer by any means, it just doesn't feel like a Sonic game for the most part. There are exceptions, of course, like the bonus stage, but it's hard to shake the feeling you're playing a slightly above average platformer that they decided to pour Sonic sauce all over the last minute. It's worth knowing that this is the same game as this, more or less, only with a more zoomed in perspective on the game view. It's not a bad first attempt on the 8-bit hardware for a Sonic game, but they'll refine things as they went along. Thanks for watching, and remember, consoles may come and go, but a classic is always a classic. And please subscribe, because YouTube, subscribe, we need that. Thanks!